Hello everyone, I'm Katherin Durán, and this is the course of Testing and Evaluation in ELT, the final exam. Now I'm gonna be talking and sharing with you the proposal of evaluation that I create regarding to the population chosen. But before I start talking about what I propose for this course, it's essential to clarify what is the population that I'm working with. In this case, the population is of the 2017 promotion of a private country school in a very exclusive northern area in Cali. The school has a bilingual status and the school day is of 8 hours and the class is of 24 students. The correct English level of them is between B1 or B2 plus. Now we have the characteristics of the population. In this case, it is known that this Cali school has a bilingual status, so almost all the students are fluent in the language. Only a small number of students belonging to the student population have difficulty when communicating in English. In this case, the predominant learning style in this population is visual. All the students prefer the classes with contained didactic material such as videos, image, and games. Here we have the methods and approach I'm going to be applying to them. Regarding the method, I'm going to be using two, in this case the diagnostic and the formative. Regarding the diagnostic, we will be focusing on what is the actual level of those students who have some difficulties to communicate in English. In this way, we will be able to create and select the best activities for them, taking into account what the diagnostic said. Okay, so regarding the formative, we have that we will be applying this once that we know the actual level of them. We will create some modules or some activities with different topics, but in this case we will be applying the formative assessment once per 3 or 4 classes. But as I said, it's important to have first of all the diagnostic and then create some activities and strategies and adapt the curriculum to help the students to overcome those problems that they have with the language. When we are developing the classes and all the material, then is when we are going to apply the formative that will be developed once per 3 or 4 classes, as I said before. Regarding the approach, we have the observation, and we have to monitor the students' response to classroom experience. Then we have the discussion, and it is the consolidation or application task that requires students to apply knowledge and skills developed in previous lessons. And finally, we have some dynamic activities that we are going to create and apply to them to potentialize all the 4 skills. In this case, reading, speaking, reading, and listening. Okay, so writing, speaking, reading, and listening. Those 4 skills are the ones that we are going to help them to potentialize through dynamic activities. Okay, but for get all these aspects or all these aims that we have set, we have to take into account this special topic, which is the evaluation of English for a specific or special purpose. In this case, taking into account this topic, this interesting topic, we have that to achieve these aims, number of parameters have to be taken in consideration, as the need analysis, the course design, the teaching learning, the assessment, and the evaluation. And those 5 aspects are the ones that we are going to apply with this course that have some aspects to improve. Okay, so as I said before, we have the need analysis that is going to be with it's going to be with the diagnostic. It's going to be linked with that. Then we have the course design, then the process of the teaching learning, then the assessment to evaluate their progress, and finally the evaluation. In this case, taking into account the assessment of young students, we have to say this important aspect that one research said. Look at this. Language use task for assessments. Language use tasks, therefore, give teachers the opportunities in the classroom to assess children's ability to use the language, according to McKay. These tasks are not discrete point stats or items in isolation. They are tasks that can actually even involve a certain degree of spontaneity and creativity in using the language. In other words, what I want to say or what I want to apply with them is to give the classes, but in a dynamic way. It's people know, and as teachers, in my own experience, I have seen that the students, especially the young ones, learn faster if we propose to them some activities and the topics, but in a dynamic way. So for that reason, it's essential to take into account this special point that I'm talking now. But for this aspect to evaluate the students in a dynamic way, it is linked also with this important topic, which is the evaluation through technologies. We have several tools such as quizzes, such Agenda Web, such Kahoot, and those platforms and web page are so useful to the students because it helps to them to learn, but at the same way to practice what they have been learning during the class. These page as quizzes as Kahoot are so interesting because they contain a lot of image, a lot of dynamic dynamic aspects or points that makes the student the information visual appealing for them. The information is more visual appealing for all the students, and in this way they can learn or also remember all the aspects that we have been teaching to them during the class. So the evaluation through technologies is really important to help the student in the improvement of their English indeed. Now here's my proposal of the evaluative exercise, and I'm going to be talking first of all of the diagnostic. I create some aspects or questions to evaluate the level, the actual or the current level of the student. In this case, we have the grammar, and in this case, the student have to read the following sentence and choose the correct answer. Okay. So as you can see, it also includes some image and some topics that can be interesting to the students, such as the music. For example, in this case, we are talking about the BTS, which is a famous group, and it's it's a lot listened for the young people. Okay, and also we have some other aspects. For example, to complete a conversation, as you can see, I also include some image that can help the student to be more into the context of the conversation. And as you can see, they have to complete taking into account the correct option. Here we have also some activities that the student can choose the present simple or present continuous to complete the sentence below. In this case, we are going to evaluate if they are really capable or have the necessary knowledge to express some sentence using these tense, these times. Okay, so the Other point is to write a positive or negative sentence in present continuous using the verbs given in the test, okay? Here we have also to complete some sentence, and also in the other points, as you can see, the student have to complete in the correct order, and in this way we can see how is the level of the student. Here we have some other exercises that are pretty similar. We have some others, but as you can see, it's to complete but using some different words and different times, okay? Here we have the writing that will make us know if the student is really capable to write in a good way or to communicate their ideas in a clear way. We have also the reading. One is a little bit easier, and the student have to complete and to choose the correct answer taking into account their reading. Then the student have another reading, but this is a little bit complicated, but it will help us to know how is the student level, okay? If they are capable to understand this kind of text or they need an improvement. Here we have also image and some questions regarding the text. And finally we have a listening that the student can do, and we can also evaluate how is their listening skill. And this is an upper intermediate B2 listening, but I chose this one because it's talking about boy bands, and it's really an aspect that can be interesting, or a topic that can be interesting to the students. Okay, then we have the formative assessment, but I'm not gonna be talking and giving such a long proposal of this, because as I explained before, for the formative assessment is also important. First of all, it's important to establish the diagnostic, to know how's the current level of the student, and then taking into account that we can also create such a good material and the topics in an organized way, and then we can propose some activities or topics to this kind of assessment, which is the formative one. But to not let pass all this aspect or this assessment of the formative, I just chose, for example, just one topic as the conditionals, the 0, first, second, and third conditional, and I'm going to show you what can be an assessment useful for the students. For example, I'm going to be evaluating with quizzes this topic, and this page is so interesting because, as you can see, it has some power up and some points that can encourage to the student to keep doing their best, to keep doing such a good work in the evaluation. And yeah, it's so interesting because at the same time it helped them to remember all that they watch or they have seen in the class before. Here, as you can see, it also helps us to know how is the student, if the student understood all the topics or have some points to improve. We can also help them taking into account this aspect. This page is really useful because we can know how was the performance of the student, and have the statistics of the things or aspects that they need to improve. So in general, that was all the presentation, and well, I hope you really like it. Through this special proposal, I want to encourage all the teachers to use the tools like this to evaluate the students, but in a dynamic way.